Hey people of the VC, it's Andy Cloudy Milder. Welcome to part 3 of my A Decade of Metal series, where I am going over all of the albums that I have in my collection that were released between 2010 and 2019. Today we're just going to cover a single year, that's 2014. This was the year I started buying vinyl again and getting the bug for physical media, especially vinyl. As with the other videos, hopefully you've seen before, there'll be a playlist which I'll link up somewhere, so you can keep track of earlier episodes if you have missed them. CD and vinyl will be shown separately, not because I think they are particularly different, but because of the camera angles that I'm using to best show off the covers of the album. So without further ado, check out 2014. So, vinyl records in my collection that were released in 2014. First up, British traditional heavy metal Amulet, the first, with their debut album. Also just released a killer album this year. From Houston, Texas, I believe. Stoner Rock, this is Funeral Horse, and their debut album, Sinister Rites of the Master. Killer stuff. Saw them in Edinburgh a couple of years ago. A little bit mellower, a bit more on the sort of the blues rock, quite groovy. This is Heavy Glow, Pills and Swine and Everything Fine. An absolutely fantastic album. Something a little different from straight up, obviously, heavy metal, but fantastic nonetheless. Helix, Bastard of the Blues. This is a recent reissue on No Life Till Metal, but originally I believe released in 2014. High Spirits, You Are Here, again signed by the band. Great sort of melodic new wave of traditional heavy metal. From Canada, Iron Kingdom, Unleashed at the Kraken, live in Seattle. Great live album from a band that owes a lot to Iron Maiden, really. Very Iron Maiden sounding, but very, very good 5-track EP. Jaguar, Metal X, again. I mean, this is an old school band releasing new albums. This is an album I enjoy when I listen to, but can't remember anything about it when I've not listened to it for a while. Massive Aussie hard rock, full on, in your face hard rock, absolutely fantastic live. This is their debut album, Full Throttle. Mothership 2. I have to confess, I've not even heard this album yet. It's been sitting in my inbox for a few months now. I hope to get around to it pretty soon. And finally, from 2014 on vinyl, we've got October 31 with their album Bury the Hatchet. And that's it for 2014 on vinyl. Portrait, Crossroads, Swedish heavy metal in the same vein as Ram, sort of Diamond Head kind of inspired lyrics. Next up we also have Portrait, but this is a split with Ram. It's Under Command. They've got a couple of tracks, 3 tracks each on each side. Royal Blood kind of comes a little bit more into the... they're not really stoner, I guess you can call them garage rock, but they are a 2-piece, just a bass player and drummer, and... oh, not even a bass, I think it's just a guitarist and drummer. I can't remember. No, it's just bass and drums, I think, these guys. And absolute monster sound. Brilliant. Absolutely love that album. Sparta, Welcome to Hell. Sparta were a new wave of British heavy metal band that never actually got anything released. So this is a lot of tracks that they wrote back in the day, but this is the first time it got a release on High Roller. Canadian traditional heavy metal, Spell. This is the Full Moon Sessions, signed to Cloudy Milder. Thanks to Greg the Egg for that one. Great 7-track album. This is my favourite by Spell by far. German traditional heavy metal, Stallion, Rise and Ride. Great all guns blazing heavy metal. Back to some stoner. Stake, Slab City, their debut album. Killer artwork on these. A great stoner rock band from the UK. Back to the hard rock. Thunder Mother, Rock and Roll Disaster. This is, I was going to say think female AC/DC, but don't think female AC/DC. Just think good hard rock. I think literally, I don't think there's any of those left in the band now, apart from maybe one of them. And finally, from 2014, this is some more stoner. This is A Wasted Theory, Death and Taxes from the US. Arkham Witch, demos from the Deep. Arkham Witch are kind of like a doom-laden heavy metal band that also do some punk as well. Interesting combination, but very, very good. Well, it's taken me a while to get my head around this band, and I'm not sure I have yet. This is Storm of the Blades, Canadian hard rock. Device, self-released album, self-titled album. This outfit's out of Texas, I think. I think they've since disbanded. Really good heavy metal band, actually. It's a shame they didn't do any more. Fury, I guess you could call these UK power metal. Really, really good live band. Not signed to a label, really should be. This is the Lightning Dream. Gamma Ray, the last studio album that Gamma Ray did, Empire of the Undead. Well overdue another one, Mr. Hansen, I think. Grand Magus, Triumph and Power. Swedish kind of doom-laden epic heavy metal. On Nuclear Blast. Iron Void, this is great UK doom. I seriously recommend checking out Iron Void. One of my grails on vinyl, this one. Very, very hard to come by. Judas Priest, Redeemer of Souls. This is a library case. If the cover looks a bit strange, some VCLT I got from Blackmore Rules some time ago. Liquid Steel, Fire in the Sky. This band's out of Austria, and this is a really, really good album. It's traditional heavy metal, I guess, a little bit power metal oriented as well. It's by far the best album they ever released, in my opinion. Fantastic stuff. Neuron Spoiler, Emergence. Now this is a modern, well, a recent times traditional metal band from the UK. This is a self-released first album, Emergence. Very difficult to come by. If you can find a copy of it, grab it. It is superb. Royal Blood, again on CD. I meant to show this with the vinyl earlier, but forgot. Skullfist, a band that everybody raved about when I started on the VC. It was Skullfist were the pioneers in new wave of traditional heavy metal. Never really clicked with me. I don't know why. don't know why at all. And finally, for 2014, the last released from Wolf. This one's signed from when I saw them earlier in 2019. Again, just great heavy metal. I wouldn't even call them new wave or traditional heavy metal. These guys have been going for a long, long time, and uh, everything I've heard from them is superb. A lot of their CDs are very hard to come by, so grab them if you can. That's 2014. So that was all the releases I have from 2014. Comment below if you think I am missing any albums that I absolutely should add to the collection from that year. Other than that, I will see you with my 2015 collection pretty soon. Thanks for watching.